This is grade 10 exponents. Welcome. So I'm going to do exponents, but please look at my grade 8 and 9 exponents videos just for the basics and the foundations, because I'm going to assume by this stage that you know all the rules and you know how to do it. So I'll just explain the rules. So let's do lots of examples so that we can get used to this. So this is mostly how exponents look like. So important is again the base. If the base is the same, then you know you can multiply everything. So I'm first going to take this, let's call it part over here, and I'm going to split it up into its exponents using the exponents law, which will give us a, and then ax times a to the minus 3. So that is what we can do, times, let's do the second part. That gives us ax times a to the minus 2. And if you do that, these two I'm going to add up. So for that, I'm going to get a and x plus x, x plus x. And for the other one, I'm going to get minus 3 minus 2. And if I put it together, I get a to the 2x times a to the minus 5. And if you want to, you can just say a to x to the minus 5. So that's what you can do. Right, let's do the next one. Just quickly before I continue, just double check ax and x. That's 2x, and minus 3 and minus 2, that's minus 5. So here we have x a times x3 minus a. So another thing you can do, if this is the same, you can just add up everything, meaning just say x a, I'm going to keep it in brackets for now, and 3 minus a. So just add these two terms with each other. And if you do that, then you can just continue x to the power a plus 3 minus a. And if you look now, you have a and a minus a. So a minus a is 0. So you're just going to sit with x to the power 3. All right. Next one. 5 squared. 5 squared times, let's write it properly. So it's 5 squared times 5x minus 2 times 5 to the power minus x. So what I'm just going to do now, because the base is the same, I'm just going to put the 5 down and just going to add everything here on top. So I'm just going to add all of that. I'm going to say 2 plus, I'm just going to keep it in a bracket for now. I'm just going to say plus minus x. You don't need to do it, but I just like to keep it separate so that I can see what I'm working with. So then it's 2 plus x minus 2 minus x. That answer is 5. Let's do the x first. And okay, there you see the x cancels out because it's x minus x. Then you have a 2 minus 2. So okay, so the 2 minus 2 gives us 0. The x minus x gives us 0. So on top, you're just going to have 5 to the power 0. And the rule is anything to the power 0 is 1. So 5 to the power 0, that will equal 1. Right, let's move on to some more difficult things. So here we have 9, 2n minus 1 over 3, 3n plus 1 times 3n minus 3 times 3. So if you just look at this one, here you see a couple of 3s, and there you see a 9, but we know 9 equals 3 times 3. So I'm going to take the top term first. Let's just do something like this. Take the top term, which is 9, and I'm going to say 3 times 3, and all of that to the power 2n minus 1 over whatever we have there. So I'm just gonna work with the top quickly first on this here. So for this, it's gonna be, if you break it up, it's gonna be 3, the first 3 to the power 2n minus 1, and then the second 3 times 2n to the minus 1. So that's one of the rules. Okay, so let's just continue with this part at the bottom. So it's, I'm going to take this 3n plus 1. I'm going to split it up a bit to 3 to the 3n times 3 to the power 1. And do everything 3 to the power n times 3 to the power minus 3 times 3. So what I've done here, I just took this part here and I broke it down like that. And then I took this yellow part to that. Yeah, so now I have that, and I'm just gonna, just remember, we always have a division here. So let's just see what we can do here. So I'm just gonna add all the n's up. So there's an n and there's an n. So it's 3n plus n, that gives us 4n. Then we have 1 minus 3. There's an invisible 1. So it's 2 minus 3 is minus 1. I'm going to have something like that. 4n minus 1. Right. So let's split this now up further. So now I'm going to take this over here and split it up, and I'm going to continue with the rest. So it's 3. That's going to be 2n times. So now I'm going to do something different now. So what I'm going to do now, so let's leave that. So I'm looking now, we have this base of 3. So I'm just gonna do one big sum now. I'm gonna put the 3 at the bottom, just the 3. Then I'm gonna add everything. I'm gonna add the 2n plus 1, 2n minus 1, plus, then I'm gonna add the 2n plus 1. Oh, sorry, that's also 2n minus 1. So both is 2n minus 1, excuse me for that. And then we have this 4n minus 1 at the bottom. But remember, if we have that, then it's minus the 4n minus 1. Okay? So we have the 3 is the base. So that's why I have that 3 over there. But then I take 2n plus 2n minus 1 plus this 2n, the blue part, 2n minus 1. And then because this 4n minus 1 is at the bottom, I put the minus there and just keep the 4n minus 1 in bracket. So that's why I said earlier, I like to keep everything in the bracket, so that just in case there's a minus, which we're going to deal now with. So let's just simplify this. So now it's 2n minus 1 plus 2n minus 1 minus 4n plus 1. Just be careful of that. Space is running out. So let's just see what we can put together. So here we have 2n plus another 2n. Oh, look carefully. So that's 4n. And that 4n minus 4n, that's 0. So I'm just going to put the space here at the bottom. Excuse me for this. So that's going to be 3. But now this 2n plus 2n minus 4n is 0. So park that for now. So there's a minus 1, and a plus 1. If you add all of that up, I'm just looking, minus 1 and plus 1 is 0. And then we end only with that, minus 1. So it's 3 to the power minus 1. And that answer will be 1 over 3. Okay. Let's do another couple of examples like that, so that you can just understand and get used to the flavor of these kind of things, especially when you have exponents that you can maybe break down into different levels. Let's just see this one. So we have that 125, and already if you notice, you must start to notice the 125 looks like a 5 to the power 3. So as we look at the sum, we must already try to identify what we are working with. So we see a 25 also. We know that's 5 times 5. We have a 4. That is 2 times 2. And the 3 is only 3. So just to repeat again, so what do we have? We have this 5 and this 125. So we're going to kind of group that together. Maybe group that also together. And then we have a 2 and a 4. 4 is 2 times 2. So let's take the 5. Let's keep that. 5 to the 3 in. But now I'm going to take this here, break it down into, because 125, oops, 125 equals 5 to the power 3. So what I'm going to do here on top, I'm going to say 5 to the power 3, which is 125, and all of that to the power n plus 1. So I literally just took this 125 and I broke it down into 5 to the power 3 and all of that to the power n plus 1. So we can simplify that soon. Times the 2 to the 2n. Remember, it's a bottom as well. So the 25, this year, I'm going to say 25 equals 5 squared. But remember, it's all of that to the power 3n plus 1. 4 is here. 4 equals 2 to the power 2. But all of that to the power n plus 1. Let's leave the 3 for now. Just make that black. So just to repeat again, I'm leaving this 5 over here. The 125 I broke up into 5 to the power 3. The 2 I left, the 3 I left. 25 I broke up into 5 squared. And 4 I broke up into 2 squared. So if you look at my answers, I didn't really do something special except just wrote it up in a simplified form. But now I'm just going to add this. To add it, one of the rules is if you have something like this, then you're going to say 3 times n plus 1. So that is what I'm going to do now for all of that. Then let's just simplify this. Oops. So that's going to give us 5, 3n times 5, 3n plus 3. I just simplified that over 2n, all of that over 5. That is 6n plus 2 times 2. And we're going to multiply this part here, which is 2n plus 2. 2n plus 2 times 3 to the minus 1. So what I did there, just put a line here. So I just multiplied out everything just to neaten it up a bit. And just remember again, if you have this rule, then you're going to say 3 times whatever is outside of the bracket. So that I just did everywhere. Just double checking my answers quickly before we continue, so it looks all right. So now it's just a matter of, so just look what I'm going to do now. So now I'm going to say 5, and I'm going to write everything of the 5. The 3n plus the 3n plus the 3, and whatever we have at the bottom also. Yeah, I'm going to say minus, and just keep that 6n plus 2 in a bracket for now. I'm going to keep that in a bracket. Then I'm going to do at the bottom, I'm going to have the 2. So there we already have 2n plus 2. This is this bottom over here. And this 2n, I'm just going to bring to the bottom, and it's going to be minus 2n. And don't forget, we have this times 3 to the minus 1 as well. So what I did now, I just took all the 5s to the top. So there's a 3n plus 3n plus 3. And this I took to the top as well. It becomes a minus 6n plus 2. And the 2 to the 2 and the 3, I just kept at the bottom. Right, so let's see if we can simplify the 5. So I'm just going to do everything here just in one go. So I'm going to have 5. So here we have 3n plus 3n is 6n. And that's going to be minus 6n, so that's going to be 0. So that's fine. Here we have a 3. That's 3 minus 2. That's going to be 1. So the 5 is only going to have the 1 on top. Divide by, let's do the 2. The 2 is the 2 minus 2n is 0. And there's a square times 3 to the minus 1. Now we just neaten up and simplify. We have 5 over 4. Let's take this 3 to the top, and that becomes times 3. So that answer is 15 over 4. There we go. All right, let's do another one. 6x minus 2 times 2x plus 2. So you can already see that 6 look like the 3 times 2. We have a 4x times 3x minus 4. All right, so let's see how we can split this up. So that 6 equals 3 times 2. All of that to the power x minus 2. 2 is as simple as what we can get. Let's take this 4. 4 equals 2 times 2. Let's leave that to the power x for now. Let's break up this 3 to the x minus 4 into, let's leave that for now. Maybe we can just simplify everything on one go. So now we have something like this. So now let's simplify this. And another rule is, if you have this over here, then that becomes 3 to the power x minus 2 times 2 to the power x minus 2. Let's leave this for now. This part over here becomes 2 to the power x times 2 to the power x. All right, and then we leave the 3 for now. So just to repeat what I've done, I just took the 6, broke it down into 3 times 2, and then just wrote that separately. 3 to the minus 2 and 3 to the power x minus 2 and 2 to the power x minus 2. I did the same with the 4x, split it down into 2 times 2, broke that up a little, and I just left the others the same. So now what I'm going to do now is literally just take this 3 and just write everything that goes with the 3. So let's put a 3 on top and a 2 at the bottom and just see where we get. So now it's literally, there's a 3. So it's a x minus 2. X minus 2 is another 3. Yes, here's a 3, but the 3 is at the bottom. And if the 3 is at the bottom, you're going to say minus x minus 4. So don't forget about that. All right. Let's do the 2. So there's a 2 on top, x minus 2. There's another one, x plus 2, but we here at the bottom. So we're going to say minus x minus 2, and then the minus x plus 2. But remember, I'm just bringing whatever is at the top, I bring it here at the bottom. That's why I have to put that minus there in front. We still have the 2 x's. So the x plus x is 2x. So I'm just going to say here plus 2x. I just added these 2 x's up for now. Right, so now it's just a matter of simplify. So let's do the 3. The 3, we have the x, and that's minus x. So x minus x is 0. We have the 2 minus 4, which is minus 2 plus 4. And that answer is just 2. That simplified now on top. The bottom we have, let's just write it out first. 2 minus x plus 2 minus x plus, minus 2 plus 2x. Just double check again. So it's minus x plus 2 minus x minus 2 plus 2. Again, if you didn't look at my, I think it's grade 7 and 8 common integers. So all of there, I explain how you multiply the plus and the minuses with each other. You can just have a look there. Right, so let's do the final simplification. So here we have a minus x and a minus x and a plus 2x. That is 0. And 2 minus 2, oh, that's also 0. So everything on top is actually 0. At the bottom is 0. So we have 2. Just do this 2 to the 0. So that 3 squared is going to be 9 divided by 1. And that answer is just 9. If you have any questions with something that I do that you don't understand with a sum, maybe just take a print screen of it and send me an email or a WhatsApp, and then I can maybe just do another separate video for that. But try to look at all the videos, because then you'll have a good understanding of how to do it. Right, let's do one last one. One last one. But by now you probably know how to do all of this quickly. So as you can see, everything is the same. It's just a matter of understanding the rules and know when to apply the different rules to the sum. So let's see, we have, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to keep all this here. Just be careful. What I included here is this minus. So you can't just use the rules of the previous one. You're going to treat this as a minus. So it's going to be something different. So let's just see what we can do there. Right, so let's first do this, 2, 3x. I'm going to break that up first. Leave the 2 to the 3x over. Let's take 4 equals 2 times 2. And there's times 2 to the 3x times 2 to the minus 1. So what I did, I just broke that up into this part over here. I left that the same. The 4 I broke up into 2 times 2. And this part over here, I just simplified a little. So let's see what we can do. So let's say on top, I'm going to do on top factorization. So normally if you have factorization and you have something like this, let's say 2x minus x, then you take out the x and then you end up with it's a 2 minus 1, something like that. So that's what I'm going to try now. Let's do something different. You maybe have a 3x squared minus x. Then you can take out one of the x's. Then you end up with something like this. So let's see what we can do. Why I'm saying so? Because there's a minus. So don't forget about that minus. So it's similar to this minus over here. But now here's a 2 to the 3x and there's a 2 to the 3x. So I'm going to treat that the same like I showed you now here on the right hand side. So I'm going to take out 2 to the 3x in the bracket, and what's going to remain is just the 2 minus 1. So can you see it's very similar to what I've written over there, the top part. Let's take the bottom part out. So it's very similar to what I did there. So there's a 2, which is that. The 2 to the 3x is the x minus, and there's a 2 to the 3x, which is the x. And if you look at this sum over here and you simplify it, you get this answer. That's why it looks exactly the same like this here at the bottom. Right, so let's see what can we do about it. I'm just going to remove this now, just to create some space. So now we're not finished here. This is only the top. At the bottom, we have this 2, and I'm just going to add up all the numbers for now. The numbers meaning there's a 2 to the 1, 2 to the 1, and there's a 2 to the minus 1. So all of that become 1 plus 1 is 2, 2 minus 1 is 1 to the power 1 times what remains is the 2 to the minus 3. This part over here. Right? Let's just take that out. So let's look very carefully. What we have here now is this 2 to the power 3x multiplied by something, and here we have 2 multiplied by the 2 to the power 3x. So now what we can actually do is literally just eliminate that with each other. because we can do that because this is brackets over here. So now we end up, if we simplify, we end up with this 2 minus 1, which is 1 over, and what remains at the bottom is just a 2 to the power 1, which is 2, and the answer is just a half. So that is just how you break it down. Like I mentioned, just be very careful of this minus over here, because that can actually change the whole sum. So let's lastly maybe just do another one with a minus, so that you can just 100% understand the minus. So there's the minus over here. So just be very careful of that. Just finish the sum quickly. 3 to the a plus 2, another minus 3 to the a plus 1. So I'm going to treat this sum exactly the same as the previous one. I'm going to say, let's just write this out first. I'll explain now. So they have 3 to the minus a. I'm going to simplify that first. So there we go. Then I'm going to simplify everything at the bottom. 3 to the power 2 minus 3a times 3 to the power 1. So I've literally just simplified all the ones that's not part of the minus. So there's a 3a. There's this part over here. There's the blue. Just a matter of simplification. Nothing fancy. Okay? But now, what I do have, just remove the brackets. So what I do have now is the same like the previous sum, where I have this 3a and 3a. So now I'm going to literally just take out and see if I can take out the 3a, and then I end up with 1 minus 3 to the minus 1. And you see what I did there? Similar to the previous sum, I just took out this 3a, and then it becomes this part over here. And that everything divided by, and here I'm also going to take out the 3a, and then it becomes 3 squared minus 3 to the 1. All right, so just be very sure that you understand what I did there. And now we have a sum where we have something times something and another something times something. And now if you have that, you can literally just scratch out or eliminate the 3 to the power a's, and what remains on top is just 1 minus, and that's going to be 1 minus a third. At the bottom, you're going to have 9 minus a third, and you can just do all of that calculations, and then your answer will be, that's going to be on top 2 over 3 divided by, at the bottom you're going to have, so I'm just going to work on a separate page quickly. And let's go to another page. So it's 1 minus a third and 9 minus a third. So it's 1 minus a third and 9 minus a third. 1 minus a third, 9 minus a third. So on top, you're going to have 2/3. The bottom, you're going to have, so the 9 equals, that's 9 over 1. So that's 27 over 3. So that's 27 over 3 minus 1 over 3. So that's going to be 2 over 3 divided by 26 over 3. And just look what I'm going to do now. I'm going to say this part over here, 2 over 3. And I'm going to multiply. Now be careful, there's a division. So I'm going to multiply now. And then I'm going to say multiply by the inverse, which is 3 over 26. 3 cancelled out. 2 goes to itself 1. That is 13. And then the answer is just going to be on top 1 over 13. And that's how you do it. Thank you very much. This was Exponents for grade 10. Again, if you don't understand something, just let me know. But before you look at this again, just try to, if you have time, look at the grade 8 and 9, the exponents videos over there, because in there I just explain in much detail the more simplified versions of this. And as you can see, everything you learned in grade 8 and 9, now you start to apply in grade 10, and you will still apply going forward. Thank you very much. Have a good day. Bye-bye.